Hey guys, it's Desi So Playa and I'm back with another video. So guys, I know I have not been on here in like 5 months and I keep going ghost, but honestly, the reason why I'm not consistent on YouTube is because I'm in nursing school. So I just finished up my second semester of nursing school and I'm going to update you guys about how that went in my next video. But for this video, I wanted to start something new on my channel since this is my first video back, and I wanted to do a girl talk because I really like watching these videos. Like, I feel like girl talks are so motivating, especially like when you're a woman that's kind of on a journey, like a self-love journey, self-worth journey. Like, listening to these videos, they feel so good, and like just hearing other women talk about their experiences and you know what they've gone through. I really feel like girl talks are like the best videos ever. So I want to start this series on my channel and I have some topics that I want to get into, like some really good topics. But the first one that I want to talk about, okay, so this topic I have been seeing on a lot of other YouTubers channels and I've been seeing it on podcasts, and basically the question is, would you allow somebody to double back in your life? So I feel like this is a really good topic because it kind of touches on your standards, your boundaries, and the things that you should allow and you shouldn't allow as a woman. And I feel like that's one of the biggest topics that I really want to touch on with like my self-love journey, my self-worth journey, because I feel like everybody has to understand what you will and will not condone. Like, whether it's in a relationship, dealing with friends, dealing with anybody in your life, you have to set boundaries, right? So the old me answering that question, like, would I let somebody double back into my life, I probably would have said yes in my past, right? But the new me, the person that I'm becoming as of today, it is December 16th, 2022. The answer is hell no. Like, I'm not allowing anybody to double back in my life. And before I get into the reasons why, I want to explain what this means, like what doubling back means, because some people might not understand what I'm trying to say. So when the term doubling back is pretty much when, like, say for example, if you were in a relationship with somebody and y'all broke up for whatever reason, or if you were in a friendship and the friendship ended and time goes by, y'all are no longer talking, y'all are not, you know, on speaking terms. I don't care how much time goes by, weeks, months, years, and then that person tries to come back into your life and try to hit you up on something like, I miss you, I want to be with you, or I want to rekindle our friendship. Whatever the situation is, like, will you allow that person to come back into your life, right? So that's basically what this question is asking. So the reason why I say no, I don't think that you should allow people to double back into your life, because, well, during this video, I'm going to also be throwing in a couple story times just to kind of just so you guys can understand the real reason in my personal experiences on why I feel like that's not a good situation. But number one, I feel like when somebody comes into your life and they don't value you as a person, or they don't respect you, or they're whatever they did for this friendship or relationship to end, so whether they was lying to you, cheating on you, whatever they was doing, I feel like that person made it clear that they didn't respect you, they didn't want to be with you. So when things end, you need to just let them go on about their business, like, period. And also, like, on a spiritual standpoint, I feel like when God removes people from your life, like, there's a reason. Like, even if it's petty to you, or even if the situation or the fallout wasn't that deep, I still feel like there's a reason why that person is not in your life anymore. And to me, I feel like when people keep spinning the block, sometimes I feel like it's a lesson. Like, I feel like it's either God's trying to test you, God's trying to see, like, are you still gonna fall for that? Or that person's trying to figure out, like, is this girl still dumb? She's still finna let me back in her life? She's still finna let me play her again? Like, I played her last month. I'm finna spin the block and she gonna be right there waiting on me. And I just got, you know, and I'm just gonna keep doing this until she finally gets tired of it. But for whatever the reason is, I feel like it's usually not a good outcome. Like, I don't know, some people could possibly, you know, end up like doubling back and end up being in a good, you know, relationship. So I'm not gonna say that it's always gonna end up like that, but from my standpoint, I'm just not allowing it. And so on terms of relationships, because I want to break it down with different types of relationships. So like when it comes to like a boyfriend and girlfriend type of situation, or somebody you were previously dating or in a, you know, situationship with, the reason why I feel like you really shouldn't take them serious and you really shouldn't let them keep spinning the block on you is because like for example, I'm going to speak on a situation that I went through, right? So this story time, it's really embarrassing. Like, it's very, very embarrassing, but I feel like it's worth saying and it's worth telling because I feel like a lot of women have been through this. And it's a perfect example of why you should never let somebody keep coming back into your life and playing with you. So this situation, it happened when I was a freshman in college, right? So I'm currently a senior now. I'm going into my last year of nursing school and I'm 21 years old. So just so you guys can get an age gap, like I'm still very young. So, you know, things that I did when I was 18, like I'm gonna let that slide because I was immature. Like everybody was immature at 18, right? So I met this person that I met in college. And when I first met him, like it really wasn't something that I wanted to be in long term. Like to me, it was just something to do. I was bored. But eventually I started to kind of grow feelings for the person. I kind of started to like them. So basically this situation, it was never a relationship. We literally were in a 3-year situationship, which is already crazy. Like that's the number one red flag. Just as a side note, I want to speak to ladies. Like, it does not take any man years to decide if he wants to be with you or not. So I just want people to get that in their head. If you've been in a back and forth, confusing situation, and somebody's acting like they want to be with you, then the next minute they cold and they acting like they're not trying to be in a relationship with you no more. Whatever the situation is, if it's confusing, take that as a no and move on. Like you don't have to spend months, years waiting on somebody to be with you or waiting on something to, you know, turn up as a different situation. But you know, in my headspace at that time, you know, I was young, I was immature, and honestly I thought I was running game. And that's another thing that I think that ladies need to realize is that I'm all for women, you know, doing what they want to do. If you want to be playing people or you want to be, you know, playing games or whatever, do you. But personally, now that I'm, you know, a little bit more mature, I've learned my lesson. I don't feel like women should be playing games like men, or I don't think that women should try to compete with a man, because men, they have that ability to be emotionally detached and mess with all these girls and do all this stuff. They can live that life, but I feel like us as women, we're very in tune with our emotions. We're very spiritual. We're very connected with ourselves. And I feel like you shouldn't try to keep going tit for tat. Like if a man cheat on you, you're cheating on him, and y'all keep going back and forth. Like I don't think you should do that. And pretty much that's was the games that I was playing at the time. I just felt like I could keep going tit for tat with this dude, but in the back of my mind, I felt like we was gonna end up together. Like I don't know what I don't know what I was on. I don't know what I was smoking, drinking. I don't know what I was on, but I had some type of crazy thought in my head that we was gonna end up together. So basically, like within the first year of this situationship, I really started to understand like this ain't right. Like even though I really wanted that person, in my heart I knew it wasn't right. And I finally came to terms after I found out that he was in a whole nother relationship with his ex and he was lying to me and everything, right? Even though we weren't in a relationship, I still felt very disrespected because I asked him straightforward, are you dealing with somebody? Are you in a situation? And he lied. So once I found out he was in something with his ex, I officially ended it, right? And that should have been the end of that situation, you would think, right? You know, somebody played with you, they lied to you, they strung you on for a year. You would think that that would be the end of it. But no, I was still on my dumb phase. So basically almost a whole like 8 months had went by, and I had started moving on. I was like getting over it. Like I was like, of course I still had feelings for the person, but I was getting over it and I was moving on. And of course he ends up spinning the block. So he comes back, he said he missed me, he wanted me. And that's another thing, that culture. I know Instagram and everybody tries to normalize that whole toxic relationship behavior, but it's not cute at all. And just because a man keeps coming back to you, that does not mean he wants you. Like, unfortunately, it can seem like that because a lot of these men are so manipulating. And that's another topic I want to get into. These manipulating, lying dudes and dudes that are like really narcissistic. I want to get into that topic later. But uh, the main thing that I feel like people got to realize is that just because somebody keeps like, you know, spinning the block, dipping back, trying to double back on you, that does not mean he wants you. Honestly, a man, if he constantly sees that you're always available and that you're always willing to take him back, it's like, of course he's going to keep coming back to you because you're easy, you're accessible. A lot of women, a woman that truly knows her worth and knows and has self-respect for herself, she would realize after something doesn't work out, she would realize that person is no longer for her, and she will move on and not allowing the person to keep coming back into her life. So that's why they know who they can play with and who they can't play with. And since I was still being played with, every single time he would double back, I would get all those like feelings like, oh, he want me and he missed me and he can't stay away from me. But that really wasn't the case, right? So being dumb, I end up letting him back into my life. And basically the cycle, like, it continued to repeat itself over and over and over. He literally, the second time around, he did the exact same thing with a whole nother girl. He ended up finding somebody else. The whole time he's stringing me along, he ended up moving on with somebody else, but still hitting me up and acting like he's not in a relationship, but he's taking somebody out on dates, posting it in my face. Literally just insane. But I was so dumb and I just could not believe that, like, he played me and then I took him back and he did the exact same thing with a whole nother female. And that right there, that situation just proved that, like, when somebody shows you who they are, don't keep taking them back and thinking that they have changed, thinking that they are a new person. Like, that's honestly insane. Like, I know, like, a lot of us women are so forgiving and we have big hearts, especially me, because I'm one of the type of person that I rarely find people that I'm really like, that I really like. So when I do like somebody, I tend to really stick around because, like, I really want to be with that person. But it doesn't matter how much you want that person. When they're showing you who they are, you have to believe and you have to move on. And I think that, like, that situation, it really like woke me up to realize that it stems from knowing your worth and really understanding your boundaries, and knowing that if somebody has had ample opportunity to show you that they want to be with you, they've had plenty of time to come right with you, and they chose that somebody was better, or they felt like the grass was greener on the other side, whatever they felt like, you need to let them know that, you know, sorry, hun, but you made your choice and you need to stay over there with it. And you have to just know that you will get somebody better and you will move on, and somebody is going to love you and treat you accordingly the first time. It shouldn't take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times for somebody to finally come right at you. Like, I feel like people are so used to this toxic struggle love, this ghetto fantasy. I don't know, but it's not cute, and I don't think women should be willing to settle for that. It's just not right. So that right there is just one of the situations that really made me realize, like, you don't let somebody double back. And when it comes to friendships, I want to switch it because I know like not everything, you know, involves relationships. Some things are just with friends. So I have a story with a friend that I was friends with for over 10 years. Basically, I met her in middle school. We were best friends. Everybody knew we were friends, right? And it was a lot of situations where this person, this female, she constantly like chose other friends or other people. Like she pretty much put people before me, and we were like, that was like my best friend from middle school. So we like anybody that she could meet a stranger off the street and she would treat them better than she would treat me, basically. And I'm not the type of friend that gets like really jealous or gets like feeling some type of way about my friend having other friends. Like, I'm not like that at all. But when somebody who you're friends with, I feel like they should have loyalty to you, and they should always, you know, somewhat put you above people who they're just, you know, people they just met. But basically, this friend, she would find somebody new to be friends with. That person would end up doing her dirty, and then she would kind of like come back to me, and she would constantly do shady stuff, do weird stuff towards me whenever she meets these new friends. And I had finally got fed up with it, and I was like, you know what, don't talk to me again. Don't, you know, I'm not about to keep, you know, going back and forth with you. And we kind of fell out. And that should have been the end of the friendship, because it's like, look, I was your friend. You constantly chose to treat me like whatever, you know, treat me horrible. I ended it. We should be able to move forward and not be friends anymore. But of course, that friend came back around, and she, you know, apologized. She, you know, pretty much made it seem like she didn't mean it like that. And I decided to take her back as a friend. That was first mistake. I should have left it where it was at, right? But being me, being nice, I just let her back into my life. So a couple months go down the line, and pretty much the cycle ends up repeating itself. She meets a whole nother person that she just met, and me and this person, like me and the friend, had plans to go somewhere, right? So we were already planning to do this months in advance. It was finally time for us to go out and do it. And I'm dressed, I'm ready to go. I'm like, hey girl, where you at? And she's like, she's not responding. She's just taking forever to respond. I'm just like, what's going on? So then I watch her story, and she's out with a whole nother friend. And I was just like, didn't we have plans? Like, didn't we have, you know, something to do? Like, I'm confused. And she pretty much like lied, acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. And right then and there, I was like, I knew I should have kept you where you was at. I should have cut you off the first time and ended it. But I kept going back, and she showed me again that I was not a priority for her. I was like, she's not a real friend. So I just feel like you shouldn't allow people to keep coming showing you the same thing twice. Like, that's really, it's insanity for you to think that somebody's going to change once they've already showed you who they are. And I know some people do change. Some people might do come around and become a better person, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen like that. But basically, that is my view on the topic of, should you let friends or should you let relationships or people that you used to deal with come back into your life? My answer is no. But I want to hear you guys in the comments. If you have any opinion on this topic, like, comment below and tell me, like, what's the tea? Like, do you think people should keep coming back into your life, keep spinning the block? Like, what's the tea? Tell me what it is. And if you guys want to see any, like, hear any other girl topics, like, leave some in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.